What's up, guys? This is Derekis. This is Channel Zapped. Today I'm going to be reviewing Naruto 665. This was this was an okay. This was a good chapter. Good to It wasn't great, but it was good. It was a good chapter. Yeah. We got a chapter, and I don't know if this has ever happened before. I, or if it has, it's been a very long time. This is the first time we've had a chapter which stayed on one scene. It stayed on one core group of characters, and this was pretty much Madara, Obito, Black Zetsu, Kakashi Manito, Gaara, Sakura, and Naruto laid out on the operating table still. And we see Madara coming in, and he's like, okay, Zetsu, come to me, my child. And he's like, bring me the eye. And Zetsu's like, I got the nine-tailed chakra also. He was like, oh, great, bring that too. More the merrier. And we get to see we get to see a fight. I don't even know where to go with this. The build up first. We get a little philosophical here with Madara. Madara goes and pretty much he gives an outline, his thesis on bringing peace to the world. What the original Sage of the Sixth Path wanted to do. And he said, and basically he called him a failure. Well, he didn't call him a failure. He called man a failure. Because the Sage of the Sixth Path taught them ninjutsu and introduced them to chakra, or taught them how to use chakra in a way for them to connect with one another. He wanted man to be able to know what each other are feeling and thinking, and without having the ability to speak about it. They could pray for the betterment of all. And what Madara says is that man basically corrupted that gift, and he says that they instead turned and used that gift into making war with each other, taking their physical energy and their spiritual energy and kneading it with the chakra that he taught them how to use, and they used it as a means of making weapons and jutsus to conquer each other. And I have to say, I honestly like Madara the philosopher. I like him. I like the fact that he's still a badass, but he still has this overwhelming, this driving sense of he believes that he's right, and he believes that he's doing what is right for the world, by bringing everyone into his worldwide genjutsu, the infinite, his infinite genjutsu. And he sits up here, he states it again, and he tells Obito to pretty much come bring me the power. But Obito, or Black Zetsu, he was telling Black Zetsu to bring him the power, but Obito seems to take control, and Obito is basically saying, who am I? Who do you see me as? And when Obito was asking that, I was like, okay, what is he trying to get at? I'm not really following. Is he trying to find out what he means to Madara? And basically what Madara says is, he's like, you're Madara. And they have a flashback to younger Obito meeting Madara, and Madara telling him, you are now me, and we're joined in this basically this holy war to bring peace to the world. And I feel like I like that. I really like that idea. Um, and it's an idea that when you look at it, the power of Madara, not only the physical power, but the philosophical power. Um, it goes back to the beginning of the Shinobi Alliance, to the Five Kage Summit, where the Kages came together. They were sitting up here. They was like, we have to stop Akatsuki. And then Obito showed up and introduced himself as Madara. And all of a sudden, you had the Five Kages joining forces. That was the power of Uchiha Madara. And Tsunade even says later on, once they find out that when the real Madara came back, and Tsunade even said she was like, it doesn't matter. We played into their hand. We thought that he was Madara, and we let that fear bring us together. And so we're seeing a different side, the philosophical side of Madara's belief, which he didn't even really go into when he was originally alive, because he didn't even go into detail with it with Hashirama. He just hinted at it. And Hashirama, if you remember, he was like, tell me your new way. What is this? And maybe I can help if it benefits the village. And that wasn't the way it went. And they eventually fought. Madara lost, depending on how you look at losing in this case. And even then, when Madara was talking about man is only going to find a way to war against themselves, even then he had a flashback of just people fighting and killing each other. And he has this section where this point where he's like, even the strongest, they'll pretty much fight each other, and it doesn't matter. And it was a cut to him and Hashirama fighting. So in a way, he was even acknowledging the I guess the oxymoron of him. He's pointing out his own flaws in a way. So I really liked that scene, and for me it was a little heavier than what I actually expected from this. So that was great. So when Obito starts coming towards him, we get this, I'm not gonna lie, Gaara, Minato, and Kakashi as a team. I was like, I got so hyped when I saw that scene, like them going in. They was like, okay, now, and everybody was just like that. They were on it. They were ready to go in and just boot to ass. Unfortunately, Madara was having no part of that. But before we get to that, I want to get to, we see that evidently Minato, the fourth Hokage, is able to use, or able to go into Sage Mode. And I saw this. When I saw that part, I was like, okay, Minato can go into Sage Mode. And granted, this came out a couple of minutes before the chapter came out. A spoiler, people came out, the image was up, and I was like, oh, look, Minato, he can go into Sage Mode. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't really matter. Because the way I look at it, when he needed Sage Mode the most, he didn't use it. He died. His wife died. His kid ended up becoming the host of the Nine Tail. And these last minute power ups, or look what I can do, I'm going to top myself, it's getting kind of old. So discounting that, I think the scene was pretty sweet. Yeah, but Minato having the power to go into Sage Mode, I'm not even really, that's nothing. But when it pretty much comes in, Minato comes flying in right in front of Madara, and Madara just straight up pulled an Akuma from Street Fighter and freaking Hurricane kicked his ass. I'm like, top. I'm like, and correction, he chopped off the man's arm. So Minato is the armless Kage now. And he kicked him and sent him flying into Gaara. And his arm, which was, it had a Rasengan in it, went flying and hit Kakashi and sent them flying back. Hilarious. That was, to me, priceless. When I saw that double tap that he gave them, that double kick, I loved it. I straight loved it. So basically after that we see I'm sorry, he's too busy laying on the ground right now. But we saw Obito come walking up to Madara, and pretty much Madara is like, come Madara, and he's pretty much giving him the same speech that he gave him when he was younger. And Obito guts him. He just like sticks his arm through Madara's chest. Okay. So evidently Naruto's words, or aka his talk no jutsu, yet again touched him. It touched his heart. He remembered who he was. He remembered his dream. He states that he was supposed to be Hokage. He wanted to be Hokage, and he's finding himself again. Yay, Obito! Please die now. I'm ready for Obito to be over with. I'm glad he found inner something, peace, maybe, kind of, I don't know. I'm glad he's finding his way back. Sure, whatever. But I don't expect what kind of redemption he think he's gonna get, though. I'm like, all the damage he's caused over the series, everything that's pretty much happened in this series is because of him. Fourth Hokage dying, hell, the attack on the village, Jiraiya dying by his influence on Obito's influence on Nagato, Pain, and it's just he's wreaked havoc on on a multinational, international scale. There's no redemption for him. Let's be honest. So I just don't. The whole I'm gonna change to be good now. That's not gonna fly with me. I look at it. I'm like, no, you have too much blood on your hands. Just be done and over with. So I'm ready for that to be done and over with. Yeah. Other than that, I think this was a good chapter in the sense of it gave me a lot to think about. Particularly with Madara, what his views are. They weren't anything new, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little mental exercise where it took me, and I think this was a good, solid chapter. I'm especially loving that where oh god, I'm not. It's gonna be a while before I get over that, but Madara hurricane kicking the fourth Hokage. So yeah, guys, that's all I got. I'm gonna be tripping over that all night. Comment, rate, subscribe. Check me out: Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter. It's all there. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. What you think about the chapter. I think it was good. Yeah. So peace. Hadouken.